Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. The best way is if you became a millionaire, would you keep working? I want to tell you guys something. What's going on right now is California's trying to figure out about crypto. My name is Ben.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad. It's going to be a great episode today. We have a special guest who's going to give us inside information on some of the actions you've seen SBF do. Can't wait to get his take. We're going to talk about Elizabeth Warren. We're going to talk about Ryan Selkis. We're going to talk about tons of crypto and Robert Kiyosaki, yet again, calling for a Great Depression style event. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to take this off. I still hear the music in there, but we'll throw that back on. Been a great week. Ben has bronchitis. Should be back tomorrow. We wish him the best. Make sure you're following Around the Blockchain. This is our new channel. We are moving the 5 p.m. live show January 2nd. Right now, it just has the shorts, so you can help find, easily find it. So make sure you are subbed, because once that happens, we are not going to be on both channels. We are going to be migrating. So you're going to want to make sure you have notifications on. Make sure you're able to see when we do go live, because you know how they go with those notifications on the live. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. They have some sort of algorithm depending on how often you click it, so they don't always show it there. All right, make sure you're following me on Twitter. I just put out a brand new channel, or a new video on NFT Alpha. Me and Justin, we talk about Art Basel, and we talk about Chat GPT and how AI is changing NFTs forever. We haven't really talked about Chat GPT and what it means for NFTs, story creating, Solidity contracts. What are your thoughts about it?
I have a lot of thoughts. We talked about it a little bit on the Basement Show the other day. I think it has a big impact for the future of development in NFTs and projects, and understanding the right way to query or kind of feed information to AI to use as a tool, I think is going to be an important skill. So I think, as obviously we're very new in a lot of this stuff rolling out, but every day, week, month, year that goes by, we're going to find new ways to implement it into everyday life in ways that make us more efficient. So I'm optimistic and excited about it. I know some people have more of a sinister take on it.
Yeah, I mean, the sinister take, I did see someone was creating malware, and then I saw a different Chat GPT where it said, turn this code into a PNG file. And so you ever hear people say, hey, careful, like even a JPEG or a PNG can have a virus hidden within it. Chat GPT is like helping people make this. And then you have Chat GPT create prompts, which ends up making this like super awesome picture. You're like, heck yeah, I'm going to download this JPEG. Look how cool Pikachu is as a mecha warrior in Tokyo in 2077. And then next thing you know, you're like, hey, wait a minute, where'd all my crypto go? So just be careful out there. A lot of people, DZ has extra bass in his voice. I did have a tickle in the throat, so hopefully I didn't catch what Ben has, but I might not be here tomorrow. All right, on Instagram, make sure you're following BitBoy Crypto, BitBoy_crypto, or DZ_BTC. On there, you can find all the details on this giveaway for this cool hoodie that I am wearing right now, the Ho-Ho Hodl, we like to call it. Go to Hit Merch. Make sure you get your purchase in by December 14th, and then you can get it to your loved one on Christmas. It's going to be really awesome for guys or girls. So naughty or nice, rug pull or all-time highs. It doesn't matter. It is always a perfect time to have this hoodie. So make sure you do that. Catching up to crypto. Saw something. Make sure you're following that. All right, let's get into. Should we do CoinMarketCap or talk to the guest first?
No, let's go. CoinMarketCap.
Right, let's get it. Throw my earpiece on here.
No, CoinMarketCap.
All right, CoinMarketCap. Wait a minute, we're on the wrong thing. Let's go to this. Right now, things are down slightly. We have Bitcoin down 1.1%, ETH down 2%. Hopefully, you guys aren't holding too much Doge. I was looking at that. Now down 4.5%. One of the top losers in the top coins here. Everything else down just between this 2 and 3.5 range. Litecoin down 4%. Altcoin Daily just said 23 is going to be a big year for Litecoin. Wendy replied immediately, did Tom Crown hack your Twitter? I said, no, it was Crypto Blood. If we look at the top gainers, GMX, Toncoin, Trust Wallet Token, Synthetics. Haven't seen Synthetics in the news lately. Up 15% on the week. Trust Wallet Token up 17%. What are your thoughts on Trust Wallet pumping on the ticker symbol here, TWT? I think it might have something to do with it.
I could. I don't know. It's been pumping pretty well for the last few weeks. I haven't really used it. I assume there's something that I know you can stake within the Trust Wallet. I assume that's part of the utility. I'm not really sure, exactly what. I use the Trust Wallet. I don't use the token. So
I will say this: when it's people are pulling record amount of crypto off exchanges, it is going to be good for a Trust Wallet and Trust Wallet tokens. I think that might have something to do with it as well. Look at the top losers: IMX down 7.7%, Aptos down, Axie Infinity Coin is down, Chili's, Sandbox, Chainlink. I might have to buy 1.2 Chainlink today. I did do my weekly DCA today, and I had to buy some Avalanche, not because I'm a huge fan of it, but my average entry price is so high. Now it's just so cheap. I just bought a few just to lower that average entry price. That way, if I do try to make an exit 2 years from now, year and a half from now, 3 years from now, it helps that average cost, and then get a little bit of a little bit of nicer return when I do end up selling it. I did skip over the market cap right now, 840 billion. Bitcoin dominance 38.5. Benjamin Cowan waiting. It's going to go up any day, he says. ETH gas right now 15 Gwei. All right, before we talk to Frank though, let's talk to our guest. See what he has to say. He was in a Twitter space with the Sam Man himself, and I believe he got to ask him some questions, and I heard he was making the guy squirm. His take.
Hit the wrong button.
And just
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
I know we all missed Ben, so we just want to throw his picture.
Yeah, that was my bad.
That was us saying, hey man, get better from that bronchitis. David, how are you doing today?
What's going on, guys? Pleasure to be on here.
All right, so I heard we were talking right before the show. Was this yesterday? You were in a Twitter Spaces with SBF, and you even had a chance to speak to him, right?
I did finally had the opportunity to speak to him. I was supposed to have an interview with him about a few weeks ago.
So you had to hunt him down via the Twitter Spaces. You didn't go to FTX headquarters shirtless with a machete, or you didn't take that strategy.
No.
Okay, found him on the Spaces. That's probably a better strategy.
Not gonna do that. So went on to Spaces, got the opportunity finally to go up and speak to or ask Sam some questions. And if you get away from his narrative, you can hear the clip. He starts getting angry, upset, defensive. And I didn't really ask that a complicated question. I just asked him, you keep saying, I don't know. When did you start not knowing? And that triggered him. Like, it was just, listen, you're putting it out. You're saying you don't know anything. Like, I'm going based off what you're saying. And it was just, if I had 5 or 10 more minutes, I feel like I could have nailed his ass to the wall. So really upset that I didn't get the opportunity to do so. But I do appreciate being called up there and confront fraud.
Yeah. Now you're saying his demeanor changed. I think it's a great line of questioning because, to your point, obviously he knew about Alameda and FTX and how they're commingling funds very recently. I don't know the exact date. You might know. He sent out, I think it was Forbes, asking his net worth and sent a very detailed Excel sheet covering assets and covering what Alameda has, covering what FTX has. So evidently he definitely knew then, but then all of a sudden it's like a deer lost in the woods. He can't find his tail from a you-know-what.
I don't know. Like, that's out of him. And I want to make everybody right. I still want to go ahead and save everybody from the next pandemic. We are enabling this man to go onto Spaces and create this narrative to make us feel bad for him. And I don't feel bad for him. This guy knows exactly what happened. He knew it very long. I tried to raise money. Sure they can get that day in that balance sheet. And I'm going to be surprised when OLeary was helping him out. I fired up, man. And after yesterday's chat, it told me everything that I needed to know. And obviously, we're all in this space. We all continue to watch him go on to these spaces, talk on these podcasts. But it's the same thing over and over again. And somebody needs to clap back at him. And I'm just happy that I had an opportunity to do that.
Why do you think that Kevin is defending him so much?
You know what? I don't know. Maybe he has pictures of Kevin that aren't really flattering. I actually Kevin, because if you knew the situation, which you probably did, if you knew about everything that was happening, you were trying to convince other VCs to invest in this, knowing that the company is basically just a shell. There was so much more to dig into FTX. We don't even know. We still don't some of the stuff that's going on with that, or what went on within that company.
Okay, so you're suggesting Kevin maybe had inside knowledge that there was this commingling of funds, and then, being connected. Obviously, he saw the $100 million going to this pandemic relief fund. He sees the political donations. Maybe he's aware of this dark money to the other side on the right. So do you think he had some information that he knew that this was a house of cards?
I believe so, and I also believe, like, when he came on and he stated that Sam is a part of I usually say the 1%, right? The 1% that tries to control the narrative, tries to control us, doesn't want us to have this kind of platform, not have the opportunity to grab onto generational wealth. Kevin OLeary, when he said the 0.01%, and that's why I would invest in him again, that's suspect. That has to raise flags all over the place. How do you invest into something? You're this smart guy who has millions and millions upon millions of dollars, right? You're going to invest into him again? There's something much deeper.
Yeah.
That
just to steel man the other side of the argument. There is the angle that perhaps he put so much of his reputation on the line that he's trying to say, hey, this is a salvageable guy. This is a salvageable character that I believed in, that I said you should believe in. Do you think there's any aspect of that where he just feels embarrassed and is kind of trying to just cover his tracks and say, hey, it's not as bad as as it may appear?
He's taken, I'm sure, as an entrepreneur, as an investor like he is, he's taken losses on other companies that maybe he invested into Shark Tank, right? He sits on Shark Tank. He invests into these companies. Not all of them are successful. I understand he might have put more money into FTX, but I'm not going to let him get away with that excuse.
He's certainly taken a different strategy than, you don't see Steph Curry, you don't see Giselle Bundchen, talking about this. So it is pretty interesting. I actually have an inside story with Kevin OLeary. I filmed an episode of Money Court. They are running the commercial on CNBC. It's me and Justin Williams, the other half of NFT Alpha, and we are discussing whether or not to sell a Bored Ape asset, part of the Pluto Alliance. And we talked off camera, and he wasn't super familiar with crypto knowledge. I don't know what will make it on the show, but while the cameras were rolling, Justin Williams corrected him on whether or not USDC has lost its peg. He said, Tether has lost its peg. USDC has never lost its peg. I just said, well, let me correct you. USDC has lost its peg. You can go back. It is all on the blockchain. So even back then, he was defending what you would call that 0.01%. So yeah, maybe there is a history with that. So I'm gonna keep an eye out on that. Now, David, I'm looking at one of your tweets here. This AI technology is about to put a lot of people on the unemployment line. Me and TJ were just talking about it. I have a NFT collection that we just had ChatGPT write a backstory for what our character is called a JPEG junkie. Did a fantastic job, better than I could expect most copywriters to do. Now, do you think that this is just going to make copywriters, artists, directors better? Or is this going to say, before we had 5 artists, now we might only need 1?
I think it's both. I think it'll make people a lot better in terms of writing and delivering. But I also believe it's kind of like the CVS type of system, to where, like, you're not going to need 5 employees at the register. You have 3 machines right there, and you have 1 human being. You can either go see the human being and wait in line, or you can just check out by the machines. And I think that's the same approach that's happening here. And I think it's, from one standpoint, yes, it's instant gratification, it makes everything faster, but you still need the human aspect. You still really, and I think I don't know if we're ready for it yet. Like, I think it's really cool. I did test it out. It's great, but it's kind of scary at the same time. Like,
not to get too philosophical, but I don't. So you're suggesting that maybe we will be ready one day? I would make the argument we will never be ready. For instance, nuclear technology was invented close to 80 years ago. I don't know, someone fact check me on that, but I don't think we're ready for everyone to have that knowledge and be able to create one in their basement. This is kind of like that, where, people are writing malware, people are hiding it within PNGs with this. There's, if I were an AI, how would I take over the world? And then is giving detailed instructions on, hey, this is how you can create a version of me where I can, become Skynet. So do you think we might be ready one day, or are we just always going to be behind until there's a Cassandra complex, you know,
I think
maybe
in
comes
one
true?
day when we can actually, if this Neuralink is any good, maybe when Neuralink is implanted into our heads and stuff like that, maybe. But like we're still, I think as a society, we're still far away from having this technology in our hands. But we saw what happened with iRobot. I mean, let's just go back to iRobot, the movie.
Yeah. Will
we
Smith
saw.
from
I
one
hope we
moment
have a
he
Will
was
Smith around.
Yeah, he was slapped around by robots, and then he became the slapper from the slappee. So yeah, who
Correct.
knows? It might incite violence. Yeah, that is a good point there. I will say this: when it comes to AI, it is going to be pretty interesting. But anything you want to leave us with, and where is the best place where people can learn about you and follow you?
Gokhshtein Media is the website where we report on news within crypto and Web3.
Spelled
obviously,
right there.
Twitter, right there, spelled right there. I know it's hard to pronounce. I've been trying to get it right for the last 41 years. But yeah, you can check me out on Twitter. Always on there, yapping away, running after Sam right now. Hopefully, BitBoy gets better. Nice to meet you on here. Great show. You guys do a great job.
Thank you. And Ben, with his laryngitis, he can actually say your name better now. So that's a good thing about the sore throat there. But David,
that's hilarious.
It's been great. Thank you for joining us, man. Great stuff there.
Yep. Have a good one, man.
All right, cool. Yeah, make sure you follow that guy. I did like the this is what we need. We need these independent journalists pressing Sam in these spaces, because as long as I'm gonna go ahead and say, as long as he's dumb enough to keep doing them, or maybe it's clever. I don't know. I believe there is a master plan. As long as he's dumb enough to keep doing them, we're going to need people like him to just come forward, because he sees Kim.com. He's probably not going to want to talk to this. So we need these lesser known people to step forward and ask the hard hitting questions that New York Times refuses to. All right, let's move. Oh, wait.
No, I was just going to say, for those of you guys that is pinned in the chat, if you guys want to go check out and keep up
Frankie,
with everything David's doing.
All right. I think it is time for us to talk about some candles here. Candles and calves. The candles and calves corner.
Candles and calves corner. I like it.
What is going on, everybody? So today we're going to be talking about how to do a proper calf lift like this. Form is very important, guys. I'm just kidding. We're going to take a look at the charts, guys. We got a lot of good stuff to look at, and I think we may actually come down to my target that I will be looking to potentially add to my short, depending on if we get the bullish confirmations or not. But it does look like we could potentially continue to cool down here. And real big shout out to everybody who joined the premium Discord, guys. We've been live for about a day now, maybe a little bit longer, but it's already popping in there, guys. The trades are hitting. We got one guy making a lot of money. We have a bunch of people that have already almost paid for their membership just off of one trade. So it's popping in there, guys. So definitely go check that out if you're interested. And if you don't have the money to shell out for a paid premium trading Discord, you could always join our free Discord. There's a ton of value in there as well, and people are winning trades in there as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into the charts, guys. Let me pull up, do a quick little refresh. And okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Let's go ahead and hide the TA for now. Now, you guys will know that my general sentiment here as of right now, because of the higher time frames, because obviously when I do my TA, I like to start on the higher time frames and work my way down. And taking a look here at the weekly, we do have, oh my God, I thought that green dot was gone for a second. We do have our bullish divergence printing on the weekly. We bring this up every day, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but it is a very rare bullish sign. We also have this starting to form on the higher daily time frames. The one caveat here is if we come down to something like the 3-day, we do have the confirmed bullish divergence. VWAP is starting to cool off here a little bit. So we'll have to watch that. This could potentially have the power if this crosses down and we get a big move to the downside. These divergences can be invalidated. So we will be keeping a close eye on it. That weekly bull div is not even confirmed yet. It is just printing. So not time to get excited just yet, but if these confirm and that weekly bull div confirms, it could give us a pretty big move to the upside.
On Sunday. Weeklies close on Sunday. Okay, so we're in the middle and it's still a dot. Okay.
Yeah, so we have on the weekly, that will close, 4 days, 8 hours. We will print that new candle. We'll know if it confirms. But in the shorter term, guys, it does look like we could cool off a little bit more. This is something I've been bringing up on the stream a lot, waiting for that daily red dot. Now we are printing that as we are starting to get a move to the downside here. And if we come on down to a lower time frame, let's get a little bit of a more zoomed in view here. I am in a Bitcoin short. It is displayed right here. Looking for a potential visit of this point of control, guys, at about 16,550. If you watch my live streams, you'll know this is a level that I am praying that we could come down and hit with bullish confirmations, where I will potentially add to my long trade to hopefully catch this big move if those higher time frame bull divs do play out. But you know, we make money whether it's going up or going down. So we shorted on the way down before we pick up on those longs. So we just get money both ways. But you could also see here we do have this bear pennant that did kind of get almost invalidated. I mean, a lot of times you will see this. This is why, you don't just, you want to look at multiple things when you're trading. You don't want to just trade based off of patterns, but this is a bear pennant. These do typically break down more than they break up, but a lot of times what you'll see is they will fake out to the upside before correcting back to the downside. They will just correct in the opposite direction, which is exactly what happened here. But the measured technical target for this bear pennant will be right around that point of control. So I am kind of my plan here is to wait to see if we can get a revisit of this POC. If we get bullish confirmations, I'll add to my long, take profits on my short. However, if we break that POC, just because we come down to that point of control does not mean that it's 100% a go to add to your longs or enter a long. If we get down here and things are still looking bearish, obviously we have to wait till we get down there to reassess the situation. But if we get down there and things do still look bearish and we wind up breaking that point of control, it will be very likely that we come back down all the way to our value area low, or just basically the range lows down here at about $16,025. In which case, it would start to get questionable. If we make it all the way down there, those higher time frames may start to turn back around, and we may not see those bull divs start to play out. Or they may not confirm. So if we get down here looking for those bullish confirmations, and then if we get a move down here, I will also be looking for bullish confirmations for potential scalp longs that may even turn into a swing long. So those are generally the main levels I'm looking for. And because of that daily red dot printing, and then if you come down to these lower time frames as well, 45-minute red dot printing, and we do have a yellow X on the 90-minute starting to print.
For the boomers with bad eyes like myself, that value, that POC, I believe you called it. What is that dollar amount?
That is $16,567.
Thank you.
There you go. But yeah, yellow X printing on the 90-minute as well. This does tend to bring us down quite a bit. So this could definitely bring us down to this POC, in which case I would be a happy man. But those are the main levels I'm looking at on Bitcoin and kind of what I'm expecting in the medium term. And then just praying that those higher time frames do wind up playing out with those bull divs. And then I do want to actually take a look at Ethereum because for anybody who, again, can't afford the premium Discord, we do have our free Frankie Candles Discord, which is jam-packed full of value. I still put my TA in that free Discord. It's just not as often. And then the premium Discord, you get the trade setups and everything. That's what everybody wants. But that free Discord is extremely valuable. You could ask any of the Candle Mafia members in chat. But just as a testament to the free Discord as well, I accidentally spilled a little bit of the premium sauce in the free Discord the other day.
Where's the best place to find that link?
Yeah.
The premium Discord link should be in the description of any of my videos.
Okay.
Nice. And then, yeah, I can, when we hop off, I'll hop in chat and put it in there as well.
So you're saying you spilled your juice all over the regular Discord floor?
Yes. Yeah. I spilled a little bit of the premium sauce in the free Discord. Whoops. But yeah, we were looking at Ethereum yesterday. Somebody asked me to take a look at Ethereum for them. And when I'm hanging out in Discord and someone asks me a question, I always try to answer them. So I did a little TA on Ethereum. And I'm going to take actually, you could see here that we were coming down to a key level of support. You could see all the levels of support here. And we have a low and a lower low. You can see that with this diagonal line. And then if I just go ahead and clean up the chart and pull up our BitLab market intelligence indicator. Whoops, that was the wrong one. That was the relative extrema. And then if you pull up the market intelligence here, you can see it takes a second to load. There is a lot of calculation that goes into this indicator. I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to go show all divergences. and we're going to come over to the 24-minute. So when they asked to see that chart in the free Discord, I pulled it up and I said, what do I see here? We were coming down to key support, and market intelligence was letting us know we did have an RSI divergence. So I was letting them know, hey, this bull div may play out to the upside, but I do think we'll turn back around. And then we did perfectly call this the market intelligence indicator called this divergence perfectly. We got that ride up, and then we got two bearish divergences here, a momentum divergence as well as an MFI divergence. And then we did get a drop down to the exact level that we were looking at. I said, hey, looks like we have a divergence, could get a short-term move up, but I would expect to eventually break this support and fall through this low volume gap and land down here on this local golden pocket, which is almost exactly where it went to. So the free Discord definitely has got the sauce as well. So if you don't have the money to shell out, you could still get once in a while. I will spill a little bit of premium sauce in there. But with that being said, guys, that's kind of my plans for Bitcoin. Those are the key levels that I'm watching. And I think that's all I got. Get in those Discords if you want to stay updated, and check me out on my live stream at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right after this guy on ATB. That's all I got. Back to DZ. Bing bong.
Right. And this, I'll remember today. Go to Frankie Candles after the show. I keep forgetting. All right. It's not on purpose, Frank. I swear. Make sure you go watch them after ATB. It's a pretty fun hangout. Usually goes live pretty close to right when the show's ending, so it's not too much downtime. You can hang out with the BitSquad. And I'm not gonna lie, Frank, you make me want to get back into trading. The thing with trading with me is so time consuming. But if you got a cool Discord, that's one way. All right, that's the secret I don't want to say out loud, though. Yeah, I want you to do all the work for me so I can make money off of your blood, sweat, and tears.
Right.
And then if it goes wrong, I blame you. All right.
No, I think, and that's actually consistent. I'm feeling the same way. I think a lot of us are probably going to be doing a lot more trading next year, just because, it's the best way to make market. If we're, if we're binging and bonging in a tight little channel, you got to ride those longs and shorts and keep it interesting. So,
and we always say, kind of know the market you're in. I agree that I think we're going to be part of the slow grind up. I lean bullish, so I like to stay away from trading during very bearish times. Typically, now I'm not saying this is exactly going to play out, but typically Bitcoin falls pretty heavily for a year, slow grind for 2 years, and then like a good year. And then it repeats, hard fall for a year, slow grind for 2 years. Right now, we're kind of in the slow grind, so it might be a good time to brush up on your trading expertise. So when that time does come where there's face-melting gains, you're really going to be able to add some Satoshis. That's what I'm looking forward to. Is DZ wearing Grinch pants? I'll back up a little bit. I wanted to be festive to help, I wanted to compliment the hoodie here.
Yeah.
So I got the green.
He's feeling the Christmas spirit.
Yeah. I'm not a Grinch, although, my heart is pretty tiny. All right, Bitcoin. Let's talk about some crypto here. Bitcoin price hits new December low as Bitcoin dips 2% with Asia stocks failed to hold the $17,000 level as the Asian stocks were just plummeting. New month-to-date lows right here. Data from Cointelegraph and TradingView showed it dipping to a low of $16,736, level not seen since November. Profit Blue entertained the possibility of a steeper price decline to come. For trader Aleezy, reemergence of 16.5, and then other people are saying a reclaim of 17,000. Here you could just see, this is one of those charts where it looks like an oil spill, but a lot of volume data here, a lot of indicators saying, hey, we might be going down. These were firmly in the form of next week's CPI print due on the 13th. Today is the 7th, so we're looking at 6 days away from that, and then we'll get some CPI data. And also, December is a good time. There is a non-governmental data that's going to affect the markets pretty heavily, and that's going to be when, I don't know if Walmart has the juice anymore, but when Amazon releases Black Friday numbers, Cyber Monday numbers, that's almost as good as like a CPI jobs report. As we go every year, it's probably going to be more and more and more important. So keep an eye out on those numbers.
Target now is kind of the new one. They do still look at Walmart, but they look at Target sales a lot as well in that.
In chat, what do you like better, Target or Walmart?
I know Target for me, no question.
Target is better. It's less stuff, but it's better stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. I'm poor and cheap, so I go to Walmart.
Great value. That's Walmart's thing.
I just checked dumpsters and trash cans. All right, these on-chain indicators suggest Bitcoin's bottom draws near. That's how I can afford 0.9 Chainlink, okay? During the previous bear market, it came in December 2018, a year after the Bitcoin price peak. That's what I was saying. It goes down for about a year typically. This time around, it fell 75% from its peak a year ago. But now the bottom signals are starting to mount up. Here is a ramekin filled with tzatziki sauce, I think. I don't know. Come on, Charles Edwards. All right, Bitcoin bottom signal series. So it's going to be just more and more on-chain signals. We're going to see more and more of these until eventually, you know, it's just, all right, it's official. Bull market back on. The adoption is at an all-time high despite the FTX contagion and the market crash. Currently the highest growth rate in addresses with more than 0.1 Bitcoin in history. The addresses holding Bitcoin for more than a year also represents more of the network than ever before. So we're seeing the decentralized network get stronger and stronger. We're seeing an exodus from the on-chain or from the centralized exchanges. So this is just going to be good for adoption. I think it's going to be as more and more people can self-custody. That's when, you know, I always talk about those Thanksgiving dinners, those Christmas dinners. It's going to be better because then more and more people are going to be educated. It's not, say last year, hey, go put your money in Celsius and FTX. What do you think that family is going to feel about crypto this year? You're not invited. But last year, say you said, hey, let me teach you about self-custody. Maybe you can at least sit at the kids' table. And so that's what's kind of the vibe is if we get better information, we're ambassadors. You watching, you're an ambassador. Me, I'm an ambassador. TJ, he's an ambassador. What are we an ambassador for? Moving the world into the right direction. Decentralized, peerless payment systems. No government overreach. No government, domination of control of every aspect of our life. We're the agents trying to make a better future. And so if we can give good information and not say, hey, this 20% APY, put your life savings into it, grandpa. That's not going to be a good thing. But if we teach self-custody, we teach about Bitcoin, we teach the tenets of decentralization, and we teach why the Fed is a scam, your currency's a scam, that's when you're going to really start to affect change.
Love
and
that.
we're really close to that point.
That's great. We had a super chat from Crypto Savvy, of course. He said, Bitcoin bottom middle to end of next year. Ask Ben what he's going to wear for the bow. So, you know, they still got that bet going.
Yeah.
Savvy
What are the numbers?
I can't remember the
3
exact
or
amount.
5?
Yeah, it's something. It's below 10K, I believe. I mean, it's like 4,000 in that range, 3,800, something like that. I can't remember.
So we'll see. I don't think it'll go that low, but you know, Savvy was saying, hey, you're getting drunk in November last year, and Noah's like, nah, man, this party's gonna go forever. Now we got a hangover.
Yeah.
So Savvy was the irresponsible adult turning the music down. So don't discount Savvy there just because he's bearish. All right. 200,000 Bitcoin, more than 1 million ETH left in centralized exchanges. These are the details here. The great migration of the crypto off the exchanges continues, and we love it. Investors are rapidly closing most of their positions on trading platforms and transferring their funds to cold storage or hot wallets due to the crisis of trust emerging between exchanges and their users here. Exchange net position. Whoa. This goes all the way back to 2013.
Yeah, we were
and look how deep that red is. This is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we can kind of see some events. This is Mount Gox, correct? First half of 2015, isn't that the timeline?
No, I think Mount Gox would have been like 2012, 2013.
Okay, so even earlier. I'm trying to think 7 years ago. Yeah. I was under 30. Yeah. All right, here 2015, probably just bear market vibes. 2017, we were all loving Bitcoin. We're exchanging. Then this is the super cycle. Bitcoin's going up forever. Hey, here's a little bounce. I told you guys we're back. Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's going on? Hey, oh my God, 3,000. So maybe that's the point we're at right now. All right, so 200,000 Bitcoin worth $3.4 billion left these exchanges. Makes it the biggest migration since 21. So huge. All right, so they're saying there's equal migration in 21. All right, so maybe this was more days of wide volume where this is just like a very high spike, but we could easily eclipse those 21 numbers if we continue to pull our Bitcoin off these exchanges.
Yeah, and it looks like Mount Gox was February 2014, so early 2014.
I don't hold enough Bitcoin to have a wallet. I have it on Coinbase, but I am I'm getting close to wanting to maybe feel like I have a significant amount of Bitcoin, and I will self-custody that, I think. Yeah, I don't even think I want to chase 1% or 2% at this point.
No.
Like Richard Hart was right. Like you don't play around a train track to pick up pennies. And that's what, when you're trying to chase 2% on your Bitcoin, 3% on your Bitcoin, that's kind of what it feels like to me. If you have a lot, then yeah, maybe you start to look at that 2-3%. Hey, that's a significant portion. But then if you look at losing 100% of that, also not good. Yeah. Dave said it best. Not your keys, not your crypto. All right. Crypto declared dead yet again as Bitcoin hits all-time high in long-term investor holdings. Sounds about right. We've witnessed one of the most intense months in crypto industry with the FTX fallout and other key players that followed, Genesis, Voyager, BlockFi. FUD are at all-time high levels within media outlets as Bitcoin once again declared dead and the price dropped to levels as low as 15,700. According to Glassnode chart, this November marked an all-time high for the Bitcoin long-term holders, who are now at 66% of the chart. The long-term holders, 3-year to 10-year. Wow. God, it feels so like we're mature, right? Like a 3-year to 10-year now have been holding like never before as a percentage of their holdings keeps increasing. According to Crypto Quant analysis, Crypto Mevsimi, further minor capitulation is due to reappear. He posted his last capitulation analysis on the 6th of June of this year when the price of Bitcoin was at 31. And within 1 to 2 days, the price became 18. So the guy who predicted the summer crash is saying, hey, there's going to be another capitulation. He's saying the same setup is now forming on the hash ribbon metric. And next time we get Mind Your Biz on, we'll have him describe that. He's described it before. I don't even want to do it for fear of saying something incorrect. But yeah, it's a interesting metric when at a certain point, yeah, it's just these metrics say what the miners are going to do. So it's a lot of selling pressure. All right, we have a super chat from Jason. Do you want to read?
Yeah, I can see Jason Landis says, do you think NFT markets will follow crypto market through this cycle? So you were talking about the 4-year cycle. Do you think NFTs follow Bitcoin?
NFTs are such a weird asset class because the question is, are you asking in fiat value or are you asking in crypto value?
That's a good question. Yeah.
You're seeing, if you want to just talk about dollar value, yeah, it's closely correlated. I would say Bored Apes or crypto punks. I mean, you can throw a dart at the board and just kind of take your pick. That's the equivalent of Bitcoin in the space. One fun fact: I have a mutant ape. For every one mutant ape, there's, I believe the number is 1,000 Bitcoin, and there's 2,000 Bitcoin for every one Bored Ape. So for every mutant ape, there's 1,000 Bitcoin floating around. So yeah, I think the price is going to correlate. Now the question is, do you want to play the ETH arbitrage game with NFTs where the fiat value is down, but your ETH value is really high? Then you sell, collect the ETH. Then when ETH pumps, the ETH value of the NFT goes down. Then you rebuy in, but then you have kind of like 10 ETH on the sidelines. There's a lot of people who do that. Franklin has 61 apes or 59 apes, whatever his name is now. He's a master at that with the arbitrage. Like, oh, ETH pumped 10%, but then the ETH value fell 8%. Oh, I see a little opportunity here. Then they make those little trades for $5.
Yeah, it's almost like Forex arbitrage, really.
Forex, yeah. I would say foreign exchange markets is probably the best example of that. So yeah, it's going to go down in fiat value, but then there's another wrinkle to that narrative where it's like, well, sometimes you gain Ethereum or you gain Solana or you gain Cardano. I will say this, most of the blue chips I bought a year ago, way down in Cardano, because Cardano was $2.20, but I'm sorry, way down in fiat value, but some of them are up in Cardano. And so these are long-term holds for me. These days, when I buy an NFT, for the most part, it's a 5-year hold, 3-year hold, 2-year hold. So I'm not, right now is not the time to like flip and get out, on a 12-minute trade. Unless you eat, sleep, and breathe NFTs. You're looking at the on-chain data. You have the Nansen Pro account. You're looking at OpenSea. You're looking at the volume. You're watching the trends on Twitter, but it's a full-time job. So if it's not a full-time job, don't do it.
Yeah, and something I was going to say, kind of very similar to the conversation we were having about talking about trading Bitcoin. The trend is your friend when trading NFTs as well.
Yes.
When you're talking about day trading, flipping, getting in and out, it's a lot more better ROI on your time to do that in a bullish trend when NFTs are trending up, when volume is trending up, when new interest is coming into the space. So just like you kind of take a year out of trading Bitcoin while the price is falling or whatever, getting back in now during a grind up, taking a similar approach to NFTs, I don't think is a bad strategy.
Yeah. Someone said Marathon Digital down to $5.31. I've been buying stocks lately. I might look into that one. I'm a believer in that company.
Silvergate, another one that's instrumental in the crypto industry that's just been absolutely hammered stock wise.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, now it's almost like an altcoin. Like it's when Bitcoin goes up. I say when, not if. When it goes up, I mean, you're going to have upside potential that beats that Bitcoin percentage, I would say. All right, Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki names 3 factors threatening the global economic collapse. He loves predicting global economic collapses. Always like to say he's predicted 7 of the last 2 economic downturns here. Author of the personal finance book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I highly recommend that. If you have a kid in high school, you want to teach them, this will teach you more about finances than high school. And if you haven't read it and you're an adult, please read it. It's got good information.
Solid book. Yeah.
Very solid. Has identified factors likely to lead to an economic collapse in the future, notably with soaring inflation, increasing interest rates. He has in the past issued a gloomy outlook, warning that historical crash is on the way as he claims the economy is in the biggest bubble in world history. Now, that was 12 months ago, 14 months ago, but hey, it's we're still part of the same bubble. All right. The 3 things. Number 1, supply chain breakdown. He's saying this is coming to a head. Supply chain. This is a thing I would worry about as China tries to reenact a zero COVID policy. So that could be an issue that we might see 3 months from now, 6 months from now. So I will agree with him on this one. Next up, we have political instability. I would also agree. I'm not saying he has a PhD in the obvious, but yeah, political instability also going to be a huge issue. He's singling out U.S. and China. I would say that's definitely a source of contention, and Taiwan is going to be something very serious. And I almost missed it because it was right above this graphic. Rising inflation as the next one. So yeah, this is all connected to the supply chain as well. And so keep an eye out on these 3 factors to maybe we might have another leg down. A lot of smart people I respect are saying it's going to be a double bottom. So we had this nice little respite. Things are kind of going up, but then there's going to be another leg down with even lower lows. Those people I listen to seem to have good predictions, so it's something I'm starting to seriously consider a rough year for 23. Don't want it to happen. I'm just saying this is what the people I listen to are saying. All right, 2-bit idiot. Let's talk about Ryan Selkis. Huge fan of Solana and FTX a year ago with last year's Masari report. Cardano was mentioned like 3 times in this like 10,000 word thing. Anyways, I hope I wouldn't be surprised to see Coinbase as a hostile takeover target by a big bank in 23. Hope that doesn't happen, but with the debt at 15% yield and the decline below 10 billion in market cap, it would cost Jamie Dimon around 5% of JP Morgan stock to buy the market leader outright. What are your thoughts about Coinbase hostile takeover? I hate that idea.
I mean, I don't like the idea, but this is something I've been kind of talking about it earlier this year. If you guys on the basement have been following, we talk about it a decent amount there. This is something that's very much on my mind for next year. I think this is part of what we've been seeing. Part of what caused a lot of these collapses this year was was direct or indirect hostile takeovers. I think that's what we're seeing with, Voyager, with BlockFi, with Celsius. If you're a major player in the financial markets and you're trying to become a top dog in digital assets, you can either figure out how do I earn all of it to get up there, or how do I take from number 2 and number 3. And I think that's what we're seeing right now is the BlackRocks and the Fidelities and the JP Morgan saying, like, how can we directly or indirectly start, putting our flag in this industry and just straight buying Coinbase. I think it's a brilliant strategy really for JP Morgan. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. And Coinbase is well positioned with the government regulation and being right hand in hand with JP Morgan. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Not good for the world, not good for humanity, not good for decentralization, to the whole point and rant you went on earlier. But a scary reality for the industry, no doubt.
Yeah, and Chasen, I do want to share the super chat by Chasen, one of the most exciting first names I've ever seen in my life. Love the basement videos, TJ. So people are digging the basement. And all right, there is a little asterisk to this. They have dual class shares, and it'd be Brian Armstrong has a super majority on voting. So hostile takeover attempts would be unlikely to succeed. Brian, stop selling. Stop selling your stock, please. We can't let this happen. All right?
Yeah, and then he's got to be incentivized, obviously, to not let that happen. They can make some pretty sweet offers.
You know what? I'm going to open Robinhood. I'm going to buy 1 share of Coin, and I'm going to do my part. All right. Coinbase sees regulatory guardrails needed for crypto confidence boost here. I would say definitely for big money. UK needs to beef up its regulation of crypto for public confidence to return to the still reeling sector in the wake of the FTX collapse. The VP for International Policy, Tom Duffman, said in a podcast interview here, it is certainly not rare to find industry leaders in the same rooms as policymakers and regulators, especially as governments open their doors for consultations on how to best approach the nascent market. Crypto payment platform Ripple, for example, published a regulatory white paper for UK policymakers last month. What do you think of Ripple saying, you know what, there's other countries than America? I saw a good comment in yesterday. We were talking about Ripple. We are talking about library case. They said, you know what, I forget the number, 17 countries that said Ripple's not a security. The USA isn't just the end all be all. So there are other areas of focus for some of these crypto protocols where, you know, they can survive. If they're deemed a security, it's not the end of the world, but it is going to be very painful. All right, there's an opportunity for a basic set of guardrails for crypto asset service providers where the UK takes the good bits of the MICA, which is the Markets and Crypto Assets Regulations from the European Union, and builds upon these and perhaps looks to focus less on some parts of that bill that are less necessary or work less well. So they have a little bit of a framework. They're suggesting they might be using it. But now let's talk about our side of the pond. Crypto will be regulated as securities. ICE boss and Senator Warren, let's see here, speaking on the 6th at the Financial Services Conference by Goldman Sachs Group, whose ICE operates the New York Stock Exchange, confidently stated crypto assets are going to be regulated and dealt like securities. Sprecher also argued new regulation was not necessarily required for crypto, as the legal frameworks are already there in terms of securities, and they're just going to be implemented more strongly. How can they say that with a straight face while the XRP versus SEC case is still ongoing? I don't know, but clearly they're trying to they're gaslighting us. I hate that word. That should let you know how strongly I feel about this. Ether has also been discussed as a commodity at times, but with far more pushback. Notably, CFTC chief Rostin Benham recently backtracked on his view of ETH being a commodity while speaking at an invite-only crypto event at Princeton University. Yeah. He now believes that Bitcoin holds that status. We're seeing all these hidden, closed-door, insider, elite institutions, and they're trying to dictate how we treat crypto. I know Ben's just so mad he can't talk about the bill right now. Ben, I don't have all the details, and I definitely don't want to say anything incorrect about that. So I'm just going to, TJ, any color you can add to this story?
No, I mean, all I would say is there are solutions out there. There are things that people are proposing that do leave space for the industry to grow without sacrificing centralization and without sacrificing decentralization, I should say, which is something I think that we need desperately, a framework. Some, like if you think about a river going down the, mountain, we need some banks on the river. We don't need a dam blocking the river. So we just need a general framework to let crypto continue to
flow the water for us. And don't stop it.
Right. And we want to keep moving towards decentralization, not trying to stop that movement. I think there's a possibility we can pull that off.
Yeah. We need some sandbags. It feels like a bag of sand. All right. Senator Warren demands answers from Silvergate Bank about its business dealings with FTX. Here she is seeing a child slip through the hole in the ice on the frozen pond. When it comes to pitching banking services to the crypto community, Silvergate had an ace card, an endorsement from none other than Sam Bankman-Fried, the celebrity found. Now he's a celebrity. Yeah.
This is all theater, because if they cared about their involvement, they would have looked into this before they kind of, exalted FTX as the perfect regulatory body. Like, I think this is just applying pressure and kind of divert attention away from FTX. And, we did look into Silvergate as well, as far as like, if it went down, it would be bad for the industry. But I think this is another potential for a hostile takeover. Like, I could see, I don't know what the financials are and what the situation is. I do know it's a public company. I could see this one being a threat for a hostile takeover, just like Coinbase.
I agree with Rudy Poo. Phrases I've learned to hate: gaslighting, and at the end of the day, I hate it's. That word didn't exist 20 years, or no one said it 20 years ago. It was just lying. Just say lying. All right. This letter, co-signed by Republican Senators John Kennedy of Louisiana and Roger Marshall of Kansas, also questions Silvergate's vigilance in flagging suspicious activities and client accounts as is required to do under banking regulations. The story here is they were facilitating the payments between Alameda and FTX. Did they know it was shady? That's what this boils down to. So this is going to be probably a story that takes years to resolve. That's going to be my guess.
I agree.
Or they're just not punished. So it's either like they're not going to look into it, or if they do look into it, it's going to be years. This won't be solved anytime soon. All right, SBF. Can't wait to get your take on this one. This is going to be a hot episode in the basement today. Yeah. SBF reportedly hires Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney Mark Cohen here, white collar defense attorney. You might know this guy from some other people. Also, not only Ghislaine Maxwell and FTX or Sam Bankman-Fried, he also did El Chapo. Mm-hmm. So we have a politically connected attorney here. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell went to jail for soliciting sex with underage prostitutes to no one.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No crimes. Yeah. No perpetrators yet. Which
is to a ghost.
And I would say this is just another indicator. I think it's been revealing every step of the way the amount of, how high up some of this stuff goes is just another one of those things that shows we're dealing with some very highly connected individuals. It's not just your typical attorney.
Yeah. I mean, this guy is like connected on the state level. Ghislaine Maxwell's father was head of Mossad or like a Mossad. Like very.
It's getting weird.
Maxwell,
weird
they are very, very connected. The Maxwell family is more connected than Epstein. She's alive. That kind of tells you anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very not
so you're
good.
saying there's a chance that Sam lives. He doesn't get Clinton.
It's like every 48 hours, 72 hours. If you were to read that this would happen a week in the future, it's like, oh, no. That's too on the nose. They wouldn't go that far with it. No, they're like literally going that far with it. I just can't really say anything. It's especially when we start talking about Maxwell. I just need to move on here. All right. Ledger taps iPod designer for new hardware wallet amid the FTX debacle. Teamed up with Tony Fadell, I guess, for its Stax self-custody solution. I will say all the clips and the videos and everything I've seen, Ledger is really stepping it up on the UI and the UX, like how you interact with it, because some of these things look cool. Full screen, you're hitting buttons. You're like, hey, man, check it out. We do have links for Ledger Correct at bitboycrypto.com.
They don't generally do any
new one.
No, they only do deals every once in a while. I'll drop a link in the description or in the chat here. I don't know if there's any special deals running right now, but yeah, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday. Ledger could potentially, I think, be a good candidate to be one of the number one hardware winners going into Web3. We know there's a lot of software players, marketplaces. We know Apple and Samsung are well positioned to be obviously hardware players, but I could see Ledger being one of the top, almost the Apple-ish of Web3 20 years from now.
Yeah, I can see it too, because that is going to be what leads to that widespread adoption. Right now, crypto is not ready for widespread adoption when it comes to self-custody. I was talking about this in a Spaces yesterday on ATB Daily, and right now we're still in this weird area of crypto where adoption isn't as mainstream as we would like it to be. And I brought up the example of, grandpa with the smartphone 15 years ago. He's like, I'll never pick that thing up. At the time he's 65 years old, but then he's at 68 years old. Wait a year. Then he's like learning how to, operate iOS or Android operating system. And so why? Because it was easy. It was fun to use. It was a lot better than it was, 3 years prior. We need the same thing with hardware wallets. We need it to be real simple. We need it to be where grandpa isn't freaked out, where if he loses these 12, 16, 24 words, he loses everything. That really freaks people out. Hey, here's this secret phrase where if you lose it, you're up the proverbial creek without a ladder. Wait, I'm supposed to put my life savings into this? I'm good. I'll wait. I don't trust this. I don't trust like that. I don't trust wallets that look like that. And we need it to look real cool. We need it to look sleek. Yeah. I blame it's the iPhone's fault.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Everything has to be
look
sexy.
We need it to look like an iPhone, and them partnering with Apple and a previous iPhone creator.
There's a hidden comment we can't say, but that's just funny.
Also, up the creek without a paddle. I don't know if you're using a ladder to paddle up a creek, but.
Yeah. You're not using your hardware wallet. Yeah. But oh wait, I did. I lost it in a boating accident again.
Yeah. Oops.
I hate it when that happens. TJ lives near a lake. I need to do that.
Yeah.
I need to get a lake house. So then it's a plausible. I mean, so if it happens. Anyway, all right, let's move on here. I'm indicting myself. All right, I would never do that. I would never do that. All right, Chainlink Staking opens with initial 51 million inflow. Started Tuesday, 7 million link tokens were locked in the first 30 minutes. I'm ashamed. I haven't done this yet. I've been really, really busy. I know what I'm doing on my off day. All right. Chainlink, a provider of price feeds and other data for blockchains to use in smart contracts, also updates NFT information. Also, CoinGecko, when you're looking at prices, uses Chainlink. Introduced staking of its native token Link on Tuesday, and selected holders locked 7 million tokens valued at about $51 million in the first half hour. The staking pool currently in beta is initially capped at 25 million Link, which the company says is a security-conscious approach, meaning 28% of the staking capacity was met within the first 30 minutes. Protocol is paying out 4.75% in annualized rewards. I don't mind on-chain staking, and I don't mind rewards in the 3-4% range. Similar with Cardano. How do you feel about Chainlink paying out 4.75? How does it feel about price action? How does it feel about tokenomics? How does it feel? Does it feel scammy?
No, it sounds about right. I mean, anywhere, I mean, you can get anywhere from 4 to 15 on a handful of different projects seems reasonable. If you can stake it in a self-custody way, like I was mentioning Trust Wallet earlier, that's where I stake some certain things. And, Exodus is good for that. There's a lot of places to do it where you can stake and self-custody. So as long as you have custody, I'm still for it.
But here's why I won't stake my entire Link balance. It's this right here. Stakers will be unable. You'll be unable to unlock until the next version of the protocol's release. That's expected in 9 to 12 months. TJ, what can we say about software date expectations?
Exactly. I was going to say the same. Keyword there is expected. And the number one thing to look at with this would be Ethereum with the ETH2 update, where they said it's going to be locked up. And we're expecting that we're going to roll out this update, that you'll be able to unlock within 6 months, 9 months. Actually, we're not going to add that in that update. So there's no date on it. So that's something to be, make sure this is something you plan to hold long-term, 2 years plus before you, especially with the Link, because there's a pretty good, 9 months is the minimum. And there's a pretty good chance that number or that date moves.
Yeah, that's a good example of like ETH. It's an airplane in the air and you're trying to fix while it's in the air. Chainlink is used every millisecond. So that's not going to be some sort of thing where, we're just going to cut the chain off for 8 hours and tinker on it, in the background notes. It would like FUD the entire coin. There was a super chat.
About gaming. I was going to say on staking, it is important to keep in mind the unlock time on any of them. Like Cosmos, I know it's 21 days. Cardano, it's a different time frame. Certain
epochs and stuff.
Yeah, well, I think it's very short. I want to say 72 hours. I could be wrong. A lot of them are 72, 24, 48 hours, but some of them do have specifically long ones. You need to keep that in mind when staking.
Aiden Guzman, gaming is going to be the real mass adoption. The kids will use it and then become adults who are using it. That will be a huge influx for all the people who fought dogmatically against crypto. And it's like, bro, that's an NFT, your skin on this Call of Duty game. Like, not technically, it's a digital collectible. And you're like, that's just when you just like kind of back out slowly, like Abe Simpson or something. But I think we can beat that. I think we can get mass adoption because we're not even at the point where kids are using it in video games. That might be 5 years. And then we got to wait another 10, 15 years for these kids to have jobs where they're making real money. So I think we can beat a 20-year timeline with different strategies. What that main strategy might be, I don't know. But we'll say this, adults play video games. So we might not even need to wait for the kids to grow up. Maybe if we just make good games, the adults will jump on it. I played Fortnite last night. I'm trying to practice for that Hit Network Gaming. Make sure you're following that as well. All right, Apecoin hits 20 million as staking goes live. But what's at stake for Ape here? Less than 20 hours to show that 20 million had to been deposited and locked. Taco has done this. I might videotape myself doing it, put on NFT Alpha. Let me know if you guys want to see that. This happened despite Ape's inability to rise above its 7-day value decrease here. In opposition, the exchange outflow recorded more input than its counterpart. At the time of writing, the exchange outflow was 13,000. It's noteworthy to mention that this was also a decrease in the last 24 hours. Let's see. Oh, they're just comparing it to last hours of the 5th of December. Okay, that was probably whale moving things. In other parts of the chain, the Apecoin's network value to transaction ratio with circulation was massively down at 52.9. It implied that there's no guarantee that the long-term protection to Ape would result in favorable price trend. since not at a high value, indicated that circulation was higher than the network's valuation. I'm going to tell you the real tea on this. Everyone is pissed. They're pissed at Ape. You have to have a certain amount if you don't have a monkey. If you have a monkey, you just stake whatever you want. The problem is, say you have a monkey and you're staking your ape coin, you sell your monkey, they take your ape coin. They're pretty transparent about it. They're shouting it from the, hey, don't, make sure, unstake before you sell. Don't sell it if you're staking. But someone's going to make a mistake. Someone's going to lose their ape, their coin. And then there's going to be a bunch of FUD. And really, it just could have been easily prevented just by reading their Twitter. It's not like they hid this information, but I know someone's going to lose their money. And everyone's pissed at them. Obviously, I don't think it's the best way to optimize that contract. Like, I'll say, like, I think I don't know. They got a lot of flack for other deeds. They changed their contract right before the mint, and that's what led to the $10,000 mint price. So I don't know what's going on with them there. I don't know. They did such a good job for Ape Fest, but then this was a miss, in my opinion. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I've got a lot of thoughts on this. It's tough. I think they did a really good job. They're pioneering in a space that there's a lot of unknowns in, and you're kind of they're head of the stack, so a lot of eyes are on them for what they do, how they do it, when they do it. This is the first real bear market that they're really getting to go through. So the sentiment, I think, is generally a lot different this year than it was in years past, where people are going to be.
On that note, they're selling it as a feature because of the sentiment. It's decreased selling pressure. That's kind of the angle here.
Yeah,
so that's why it's a positive. Is what they're selling it as.
I mean, I know they're in a tough spot. They're trying to do what's best, I think, for the community in the long term. But you've got a lot of people focused on what the today, right? And there's a difference between the long term and the today. And this is the rub when you're talking about decentralization, centralization. There still is a group of people that are having to make these decisions. And I think I saw something Gary Vee and Tim Dillon talking about. Long-term NFT projects, and he's saying they really at this point still do live and die by the operators. By people, like he said, VFriends, I love it, but if I die tomorrow, like if I walk out and get hit by a bus tomorrow, like VFriends is not going to be the same project it is if I'm operating it. And Yuga, similarly, they are kind of the operator. So I think we need to give some of these projects some time, and some understanding that, this isn't easy, that they're not going to do it perfect every single time. And we just need to work together and figure this out and not have a lot of infighting. But that being said, it is a bear market. It is the bottom of a bear market. And these sentiments are not uncommon in bear markets where you see people just trying to rip projects apart rather than build.
Zane, more than 4,000 people watching. Please like that stream. I don't know what where likes are at, but I know they're rookie numbers and we need to pump them up.
That's right.
I'm biased. I have a mutinate, but I will say this as far as like to defend them a little. The most impressive thing I've seen out of any metaverse is Bored Ape live test, beta test. 3,000, 13, over 1,000 apes all in a metaverse, all had voice chat, all working at the same time. No one has really touched them as far as like the graphics, the technical capabilities. But there is a little FUD about the game company working on the, I don't know. So it's just do your own research. Do your own research. That's the key here. Other deeds are pretty cheap right now. I'm looking at getting a second. That's just my choice though. All right, Ripple partner. Ripple Army, where you at? Hit that button. Hit that button. Hit that button. Doesn't cost anything. Ripple partner JP Morgan team up in the United Arab Emirates. Major Japanese exchange reacts to petition to list SHIB. And David, hey, look who it is. Believes Bitcoin bottom. Hey, it's like that guy's cool or something.
There he is.
Hey, there he goes. The Nick Cage comments, that was too much. I used to hear that all the time. I don't know why. I don't look like Nick Cage.
That you were Nick Cage?
Yeah, they called like when I was younger. I don't know, maybe my ears were, I don't know, maybe it was like I had more hair then. Maybe I was like maybe we had similar hairlines at that moment. And I was always trying to break into museums and turn over the Constitution.
Hey,
I think it was more of that than anything. And bees, the bees. All right, Ripple partner and JP Morgan join forces in the UAE. Here's what for. Al Fardan Exchange, crypto exchange license in that country, and one of Ripple Labs partners has inked a strategic partnership with JP Morgan. UAE, one of Ripple Labs partners, Al Fardan Exchange, linked a partnership with JP Morgan. recent press release states. Two companies will offer their customers value transfers conducted in a record short period of time. So what those XRP maxis are talking about. And from now on, all exchange corporate customers will be able to transact in major global fiat currencies as well. Apart from that, customers in the UAE will be able to process faster and more reliable financial transfers. Do what they say. I mean, look at what they say and look at what they do. They're doing two different things. JP Morgan, it's a scam. Get out. Jamie, hey, I hate it. But then they're inking partnerships in the background. I do want to end. I don't know. Do we have any? Let's see. The quick hits. Do we have any questions? I wanted to talk about to you, Jim Cramer.
Yeah.
Who said, "Get out. Crypto's a scam. It's over."
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that?
We talked about. It's so funny. You always ask me the things we talked about on the basement yesterday. We talked about that a lot. He said it's over. But then he also came out and made a statement that said he doesn't necessarily think there's going to be a recession next year. So you kind of got a little bit of conflicting statement. Or basically saying the Jamie Dimons, the big financial players, are all doom and gloom for next year, telling you don't bother looking for bargain deals. Like look for, just park your money in a safe.
Yeah, just wait.
Just wait. Just
Dead
park
cat
it in a
bounce.
safe
Don't
bond.
buy.
Yeah, exactly. Don't buy now. Which tends to be what I think too, that they're overselling it,
Yes.
and now next year is the time to buy.
Yes. I agree.
So
You're
it's like,
right, man.
Yeah, it's tough with Cramer, but I think for a lot of people, like he actually does give some decent analysis. He's going to get a lot wrong.
That's
but,
what they're doing.
Yeah, I think there's a little bait and switch always going on. And basically, I'm always kind of what you were just saying. Look at what Jamie Dimon's doing, not what he's saying. He's buying right now. He's making
buying
deals right now.
Yeah. Jim
Goldman
Cramer,
Sachs is looking.
he's
to
probably
make,
not buying.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs said they're looking to make a lot of acquisitions next year. So.
All right. Well, we do have a quick hit about Japan. Japan recommends against algorithmic backing in stablecoins. So just be careful with these algorithmic. I'm invested in one. It's the Cardano one. You can research if you want. High risk, high reward. Anytime people ask me about it, I'm saying it's a high risk play. High risk, high risk. But you can only lose 1x. I put in $100. I can't lose 200. I can only lose 100. And so with those high risk, high reward plays, you just need to look at it that way. Don't put it in a big bag. But, if you do think, hey, I really think there's a 10x here, 16x here, I have sell targets of like 8x. I would never put such a lofty target unless I knew it was, high risk, high reward play. So it's kind of where I'm at when it comes to these algorithmic stablecoins. Terra screwed it all up there. So just stay away. Any quick hits? It's been a great episode. Buy Chainlink DZ. I'm buying my 0.7 the second this episode is over. Can't wait. Sold high before the fall. All right, that's all we got. Hopefully, hey, let's put out good wishes for Ben. Let's hope that bronchitis passes, and let's hope he can bounce back and help defend crypto and fight the good fight. And if you want to fight that good fight, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. That's all we got. Till next time. Easy out.